Every time we do these little homework assignments, Tyler says, these Fight Club men with nothing to lose are a little more invested in Project Mayhem. Tyler, kneeling next to my bed, says, "Close your eyes and give me your hand." I close my eyes and Tyler takes my hand. I feel Tyler's lips against the scar of his kiss. "I said that if you talked about me behind my back, you'd never see me again," Tyler said. "We're not two separate men. Long story short, when you're awake, you have the control, and you can call yourself anything you want. But the second you fall asleep, I take over, and you become Tyler Durden." "But we fought," I say, "the night we invented Fight Club." "You weren't really fighting me," Tyler says. "You said so yourself. You were fighting everything you hate in your life. And I can see you. You're asleep. But you're renting a house. You held a job, 2 jobs. Tyler says. "What are your canceled checks from the bank?" "I rented the house in your name. I think you'll find the handwriting on the rent checks matches the notes you've been typing for me." Tyler's been spending my money. It's no wonder I'm always overdrawn. And the jobs, well, why do you think you're so tired? Geez, it's not insomnia. As soon as you fall asleep, I take over and go to work, or Fight Club, or whatever. You're lucky I didn't get a job as a snake handler." I say, "What about Marla?" "Marla loves you." "Marla loves you." "Marla doesn't know the difference between you and me. You gave her a fake name the night you met. You never gave your real name in a support group, you inauthentic shit. Since I saved her life, Marla thinks your name is Tyler Durden. So now that I know about Tyler, will he just disappear?" "No," Tyler says, still holding my hand. "I wouldn't be here in the first place if you didn't want me. I'll still live my life while you're asleep. But if you fuck with me, if you chain yourself to the bed at night or take big doses of sleeping pills, then we'll be enemies, and I'll get you for it." Oh, this is bullshit. This is a dream. Tyler is a projection. He's a dissociative personality disorder, a psychogenic fugue state. Tyler Durden is my hallucination. "Fuck that shit," Tyler says. "Maybe you're my schizophrenic hallucination." "I was here first." Tyler says, Yeah. Well, let's just see who's here last." "This isn't real. This is a dream and I'll wake up." "Then wake up." And then the telephone's ringing, and Tyler's gone. Sun is coming through the curtains. It's my 7 a.m. wake-up call. When I pick up the receiver, the line is dead. Chapter 23. Fast forward. I fly back home to Marla and the Paper Street Soap Company. Everything is still falling apart. At home, I'm too scared to look in the fridge. Picture dozens of little plastic sandwich bags, labeled with cities like Las Vegas and Chicago and Milwaukee, where Tyler had to make good his threats to protect chapters of Fight Club. Inside each bag would be a pair of messy tidbits, frozen solid. In one corner of the kitchen, a space monkey squats on the cracked linoleum and studies himself in a hand mirror. "I am the all-singing, all-dancing crap of this world," the space monkey tells the mirror. "I am the toxic waste byproduct of God's creation." Other space monkeys move around in the garden, picking things, killing things. With one hand on the freezer door, I take a big breath and try to center my enlightened spiritual entity. Raindrops on roses, happy Disney animals. This makes my parts hurt. The freezer's open an inch when Marla appears over my shoulder and says, "What's for dinner?" The space monkey looks at himself squatting in his hand mirror. I am the shit and infectious human waste of creation. Full circle. About a month ago, I was afraid to let Marla look in the fridge. Now I'm afraid to look in the fridge myself. Oh God, Tyler. Marla loves me. Marla doesn't know the difference. I'm glad you're back, Marla says. We have to talk. Oh yeah, I say. We have to talk. I can't bring myself to open the freezer. I am Joe's shrinking groin. I tell Marla, don't touch anything in this freezer. Don't even open it. If you ever find anything inside it, don't eat them or feed them to a cat or anything. The space monkey with a hand mirror is eyeing us, so I tell Marla we have to leave. We need to be someplace else to have this talk. Down the basement stairs, one space monkey is reading to the other space monkeys. The 3 ways to make napalm. 1. You can mix equal parts of gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate. The space monkey in the basement reads. 2. You can mix equal parts of gasoline and Diet Cola. 3. You can dissolve crumbled cat litter in gasoline until the mixture is thick. Marla and I, we mass transit from the Paper Street Soap Company to a window booth at the Planet Denny's, the Orange Planet. This was something Tyler talked about, how since England did all the exploration and built colonies and made maps, most of the places in geography have those second-hand sort of English names. The English got to name everything, or almost everything, like Ireland, New London, Australia, New London, India, New London, Idaho, New York, New York. Fast forward to the future. This way, when deep space exploration ramps up, it will probably be the megatonic corporations that discover all the new planets and map them. The IBM Stellar Sphere, the Philip Morris Galaxy, Planet Denny's. Every planet will take on the corporate identity of whoever rapes it first. Budweiser World. Our waiter has a big goose egg on his forehead and stands ramrod straight, heels together. Sir, our waiter says. Would you like to order now, sir? He says. Anything you order is free of charge, sir. You can imagine you smell urine in everybody's soup. 2 coffees, please. Marla asks. Why is he giving us free food? The waiter thinks I'm Tyler Durden, I say. In that case, Marla orders fried clams and clam chowder, and a fish basket, and fried chicken and a baked potato with everything, and a chocolate chiffon pie. Through the pass-through window into the kitchen, 3 line cooks, one with stitches along his upper lip, are watching Marla and me and whispering with their 3 bruised heads together. I tell the waiter, give us clean food, please. Please don't be doing any trash to the stuff we order. In that case, sir, our waiter says, may I advise against the lady here eating the clam chowder? Thank you, no clam chowder. Marla looks at me and I tell her, trust me. The waiter turns on his heel and marches our order back to the kitchen. Through the kitchen pass-through window, the 3 line cooks give me the thumbs up. Marla says, you get some nice perks being Tyler Durden. From now on, I tell Marla, she has to follow me everywhere at night and write down everywhere I go. Who do I see? Do I castrate anyone important? That sort of detail. I take out my wallet and show Marla my driver's license with my real name. Not Tyler Durden. But everyone knows you're Tyler Durden, Marla says. Everyone but me. Nobody at work calls me Tyler Durden. My boss calls me by my real name. My parents know who I really am. So why, Marla asks, are you Tyler Durden to some people but not to everybody? The first time I met Tyler, I was asleep. I was tired and crazy and rushed. And every time I boarded a plane, I wanted the plane to crash. I envied people dying of cancer. I hated my life. I was tired and bored with my job and my furniture. I couldn't see any way to change things. Only end them. I felt trapped. I was too complete. I was too perfect. I wanted a way out of my tiny life. Single-serving butter and cramped airline seat role in the world. Swedish furniture. Clever art. I took a vacation. I fell asleep on the beach, and when I woke up, there was Tyler Durden, naked and sweating, gritty with sand, his hair wet and stringy, hanging in his face. Tyler was pulling driftwood logs out of the surf and dragging them up the beach. What Tyler had created was the shadow of a giant hand, and Tyler was sitting in the palm of a perfection he'd made himself. And a moment was the most you could ever expect from perfection. Maybe I never really woke up on that beach. Maybe all this started when I peed on the Blarney Stone. When I fall asleep, I don't really sleep. At other tables in the Planet Denny's, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with black cheekbones or folded-down noses smiling at me. No, Marla says, you don't sleep. Tyler Durden is a separate personality I've created, and now he's threatening to take over my real life. Just like Tony Perkins' mother in Psycho, Marla says. This is so cool. Everybody has their little quirks. One time I dated a guy who couldn't get enough body piercings. My point being, I say, I fall asleep and Tyler is running off with my body and punched-out face to commit some crime. The next morning, I wake up bone-tired and beat up, and I'm sure I haven't slept at all. The next night, I go to bed earlier. That next night, Tyler would be in charge a little longer. Every night that I go to bed earlier and earlier, Tyler will be in charge longer and longer. But you are Tyler, Marla says. No, I'm not. I love everything about Tyler Durden. His courage and his smarts, his nerve. Tyler is funny and charming and forceful and independent, and men look up to him and expect him to change their world. Tyler is capable and free, and I'm not. I'm not Tyler Durden. But you are Tyler, Marla says. Tyler and I share the same body, and until now, I didn't know it. Whenever Tyler was having sex with Marla, I was asleep. Tyler was walking and talking while I thought I was asleep. Everyone in Fight Club and Project Mayhem knew me as Tyler Durden. And if I went to bed earlier every night, and I slept later every morning, eventually, I'd be gone altogether. I'd just go to sleep and never wake up. Marla says, just like the animals at the animal control place. Valley of the Dogs, where even if they don't kill you, if someone loves you enough to take you home, they still castrate you. I would never wake up, and Tyler would take over. The waiter brings the coffee and clicks his heels and leaves. I smell my coffee. It smells like coffee. So, Marla says, even if I did believe all this, what do you want from me? So Tyler can't take complete control. I need Marla to keep me awake. All the time. Full circle. The night Tyler saved her life, Marla asked him to keep her awake all night. The second I fall asleep, Tyler takes over and something terrible will happen. And if I do fall asleep, Marla has to keep track of Tyler, where he goes, what he does. So maybe during the day, I can rush around and undo the damage. Chapter 24. His name is Robert Paulson, and he's 48 years old. His name is Robert Paulson, and Robert Paulson will be 48 years old forever. On a long enough timeline, everyone's survival rate drops to 0. Big Bob, the big cheese bread, the big Moosey was on a regulation chill and drill homework assignment. This was how Tyler got into my condominium to blow it up with homemade dynamite. You take a spray canister or refrigerant. R12 if you can still get it, what with the ozone hole and everything. Or R134A. and you spray it into the lock cylinder until the works are frozen. On a chill and drill assignment, you spray the lock on a pay telephone or a parking meter or a newspaper box. Then you use a hammer and a cold chisel to shatter the frozen lock cylinder. On a regulation drill and fill homework assignment, you drill the phone or the automatic bank teller machine, then you screw a lube fitting into the hole and use a grease gun to pump your target full of axle grease or vanilla pudding or plastic cement. It's not that Project Mayhem needed to steal a handful of change. The Paper Street Soap Company was backlogged on filling orders. God help us when the holidays came around. Homework is to build your nerve. You need some cunning. Build your investment in Project Mayhem. Instead of a cold chisel, you can use an electric drill on the frozen lock cylinder. This works just as well and it's more quiet. It was a cordless electric drill that the police thought was a gun when they blew Big Bob away. There was nothing to tie Big Bob to Project Mayhem or Fight Club or the soap. In his pocket was a wallet photo of himself, huge and naked at first glance, in a posing strap at some contest. It's a stupid way to live, Bob said. You're blind from the stage lights and deaf from the feedback rush of the sound system until the judge will order. Extend your right quad, flex, and hold. Put your hands where we can see them. Extend your left arm, flex the bicep, and hold. Freeze. Drop the weapon. This was better than real life. On his hand was a scarf from my kiss, from Tyler's kiss. Big Bob's sculpted hair had been shaved off, and his fingerprints had been burned off with lye. It was better to get hurt than get arrested, because if you were arrested, you were off Project Mayhem. No more homework assignments. 1 minute, Robert Paulson was the warm center that the life of the world crowded around. And the next moment, Robert Paulson was an object. After the police shot, the amazing miracle of death. In every fight club tonight, the chapter leader walks around in the darkness outside the crowd of men who stare at each other across the empty center of every fight club basement, and his voice yells, "His name is Robert Paulson." And the crowd yells, "His name is Robert Paulson." The leader yells, "He is 48 years old." And the crowd yells, "He is 48 years old." He is 48 years old, and he was part of Fight Club. He is 48 years old, and he was part of Project Mayhem. Only in death will we have our own names, since only in death are we no longer part of the effort. In death, we become heroes. And the crowds yell, "Robert Paulson." And the crowds yell, "Robert Paulson." And the crowds yell, "Robert Paulson." I go to Fight Club tonight to shut it down. I stand in the one light at the center of the room, and the club cheers. To everyone here, I'm Tyler Durden. Smart, forceful, gutsy. I hold up my hands for silence, and I suggest, why don't we all just call it a night? Go home tonight. Forget about Fight Club. I think Fight Club has served its purpose, don't you? Project Mayhem is canceled. I hear there's a good football game on television. 100 men just stare at me. The man is dead, I say. The game is over. It's not for fun anymore. Then from the darkness outside the crowd comes the anonymous voice of the chapter leader. The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. I yell, "Go home." The second rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Fight Club is canceled. Project Mayhem is canceled. The third rule is only 2 guys to a fight. I am Tyler Durden, I yell, and I'm ordering you to get out. And no one's looking at me. The men just stare at each other across the center of the room. The voice of the chapter leader goes slowly around the room. 2 men to a fight. No shirts. No shoes. The fight goes on and on and on as long as it has to. Picture this happening in 100 cities in a half-dozen languages. The rules end, and I'm still standing in the center of the light. "Registered fight number 1, take the floor," yells the voice out of the darkness. "Clear the center of the club." I don't move. "Clear the center of the club." I don't move. The one light reflects out of the darkness in 100 pairs of eyes, all of them focused on me, waiting. I try to see each man the way Tyler would see him. Choose the best fighters for training in Project Mayhem. Which ones would Tyler invite to work at the Paper Street Soap Company? "Clear the center of the club." This is established Fight Club procedure. After 3 requests from the chapter leader, I will be ejected from the club. But I'm Tyler Durden. I invented Fight Club. Fight Club is mine. I wrote those rules. None of you would be here if it wasn't for me, and I say it stops here. Prepare to evict the member in 3, 2, 1. The circle of men collapses in on top of me, and 200 hands clamp around every inch of my arms and legs, and I'm lifted spread-eagle toward the light. Prepare to evacuate Seoul in 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm passed overhead, hand to hand, crowd surfing toward the door. I'm floating. I'm flying. I'm yelling, "Fight Club is mine. Project Mayhem was my idea. You can't throw me out. I'm in control here. Go home." The voice of the chapter leader yells, "Registered fight number 1, please take the center of the floor now." I'm not leaving. I'm not giving up. I can beat this. I'm in control here. Evict Fight Club member now. Evacuate Seoul now. And I fly slowly out the door and into the night with the stars overhead and the cold air, and I settle to the parking lot concrete. All the hands retreat, and a door shuts behind me, and a bolt snaps it locked. In 100 cities, Fight Club goes on without me. Chapter 25. For years now, I've wanted to fall asleep. The sort of slipping off, the giving up, the falling part of sleep. Now sleeping is the last thing I want to do. I'm with Marla in room 8G at the Regent Hotel. With all the old people and junkies shut up in their little rooms, here, somehow, my pacing desperation seems sort of normal and expected. "Here," Marla says while she's sitting cross-legged on her bed and punching a half-dozen wake-up pills out of their plastic blister card. "I used to date a guy who had terrible nightmares. He hated to sleep, too." "What happened to the guy she was dating?" "Oh, he died. Heart attack. Overdose. Way too many amphetamines," Marla says. "He was only 19. "Thanks for sharing." When we walked into the hotel, the guy at the lobby desk had half his hair torn out at the roots. His scalp raw and scabbed. He saluted me. The seniors watching television in the lobby all turned to see who I was when the guy at the desk called me sir. "Good evening, sir." Right now, I can imagine him calling some Project Mayhem headquarters and reporting my whereabouts. They'll have a wall map of the city and trace my movements with little pushpins. I feel tagged, like a migrating goose on Wild Kingdom. They're all spying on me, keeping tabs. "You can take all 6 of these and not get sick to your stomach," Marla says. "But you have to take them by putting them up your butt." "Oh, this is pleasant." Marla says, "I'm not making this up. We can get something stronger later. Some real drugs like crosstops or black beauties or alligators." "I'm not putting these pills up my ass." "Then only take 2. "Where are we going to go?" "Bowling. It's open all night. They won't let you sleep there." "Everywhere we go," I say, guys on the street think I'm Tyler Durden. "Is that why the bus driver let us ride for free?" "Yeah. And that's why the 2 guys on the bus gave us their seats." "So what's your point?" "I don't think it's enough to just hide out. We have to do something to get rid of Tyler. I dated a guy once who liked to wear my clothes, Marla says. You know, dresses, hats with veils. We could dress you up and sneak you around. I'm not cross-dressing, and I'm not putting pills up my ass. It gets worse, Marla says. I dated a guy once who wanted me to fake a lesbian scene with his blow-up doll. I could imagine myself becoming one of Marla's stories. I dated a guy once who was a split personality. I dated this other guy who used one of those penis enlargement systems. I ask what time it is. 4 a.m. In another 3 hours, I have to be at work. Take your pills, Marla says. You being Tyler Durden and all, they'll probably let us bowl for free. Hey, before we get rid of Tyler, can we go shopping? We could get a nice car, some clothes, some CDs. There's an upside to all this free stuff. Marla. Okay, forget it. Chapter 26. That old saying about how you always kill the thing you love? Well, it works both ways. And it does work both ways. This morning I went to work and there were police barricades between the building and the parking lot, with the police at the front doors, taking statements from the people I work with. Everybody milling around. I didn't even get off the bus. I am Joe's cold sweat. From the bus, I can see the floor-to-ceiling windows on the third floor of my office building are blown out. And inside, a fireman in a dirty yellow slicker is whacking at a burnt panel in the suspended ceiling. A smoldering desk inches out the broken window, pushed by 2 firemen. Then the desk tilts and slides and falls the quick 3 stories to the sidewalk, and lands with more of a feeling than a sound. Breaks open and it's still smoking. I am the pit of Joe's stomach. It's my desk. I know my boss is dead. The 3 ways to make napalm. I knew Tyler was going to kill my boss. The second I smelled gasoline on my hands, when I said I wanted out of my job, I was giving him permission. Be my guest. Kill my boss. Oh, Tyler. I know a computer blew up. I know this because Tyler knows this. I don't want to know this, but you use a jeweler's drill to drill a hole through the top of a computer monitor. All the space monkeys know this. I typed up Tyler's notes. This is a new version of the light bulb bomb, where you drill a hole in a light bulb and fill the bulb with gasoline. Plug the hole with wax or silicone, then screw the bulb into a socket. Let someone walk into the room and throw the switch. A computer tube can hold a lot more gasoline than a light bulb. A cathode ray tube, CRT. You either remove the plastic housing around the tube, this is easy enough, or you work through the vent panels on the top of the housing. First you have to unplug the monitor from the power source and from the computer. This would also work with a television. Just understand, if there's a spark, even static electricity from the carpet, you're dead. Screaming, burned alive, dead. A cathode ray tube can hold 300 volts of passive electrical storage, so use a hefty screwdriver across the main power supply capacitor first. If you're dead at this point, you didn't use an insulated screwdriver. There's a vacuum inside the cathode ray tube, so the moment you drill through, the tube will suck air, sort of inhale a little whistle of it. Ream the little hole with a larger bit, then a larger bit, until you can put the tip of a funnel into the hole. Then fill the tube with your choice of explosive. Homemade napalm is good. Gasoline or gasoline mixed with frozen orange juice concentrate or cat litter. A sort of fun explosive is potassium permanganate, mixed with powdered sugar. The idea is to mix one ingredient that will burn very fast with a second ingredient that will supply enough oxygen for that burning. This burns so fast, it's an explosion. Barium peroxide and zinc dust. Ammonium nitrate and powdered aluminum. The nouvelle cuisine of anarchy. Barium nitrate and a sauce of sulfur and garnished with charcoal. That's your basic gunpowder. Bon appetit. Pack the computer monitor full of this, and when someone turns on the power, this is 5 or 6 pounds of gunpowder exploding in their face. The problem is, I sort of like my boss. If you're male and you're Christian and living in America, your father is your model for God. And sometimes you find your father in your career. Except Tyler didn't like my boss. The police would be looking for me. I was the last person out of the building last Friday night. I woke up at my desk with my breath condensed on the desktop and Tyler on the telephone telling me, "Go outside. We have a car." We have a Cadillac. The gasoline was still on my hands. The Fight Club mechanic asked, "What will you wish you'd done before you died?" I wanted out of my job. I was giving Tyler permission. Be my guest. Kill my boss. From my exploded office, I ride the bus to the gravel turnaround point at the end of the line. This is where the subdivisions peter out to vacant lots and plowed fields. The driver takes out a sack lunch and a thermos and watches me in his overhead mirror. I'm trying to figure out where I can go that the cops won't be looking for me. From the back of the bus, I can see maybe 20 people sitting between me and the driver. I count the backs of 20 heads. 20 shaved heads. The driver twists around in his seat and calls to me in the back seat. "Mr. Durden, sir, I really admire what you're doing." I've never seen him before. "You have to forgive me for this, sir," the driver says. "The committee says this is your own idea, sir." The shaved heads turn around one after another. Then one by one they stand. One's got a rag in his hand, and you can smell the ether. The closest one has a hunting knife. The one with the knife is the Fight Club mechanic. "You're a brave man," the bus driver says, "to make yourself a homework assignment." The mechanic tells the bus driver, "Shut up, and the lookout doesn't say shit." You know one of the space monkeys has a rubber band to wrap around your nuts. They fill up the front of the bus. The mechanic says, "You know the drill, Mr. Durden. You said it yourself. You said if anyone ever tries to shut down the club, even you, then we have to get 'em by the nuts. Gonads. Jewels. Testes. Huevos. Picture the best part of yourself frozen in a sandwich bag at the Paper Street Soap Company. You know it's useless to fight us," the mechanic says. The bus driver chews his sandwich and watches us in the overhead mirror. A police siren wails, coming closer. A tractor rattles across a field in the distance. Birds. A window in the back of the bus is half open. Clouds. Weeds grow at the edge of the gravel turnaround. Bees or flies buzz around the weeds. "We're just after a little collateral," the Fight Club mechanic says. "This isn't just a threat this time, Mr. Durden. This time we have to cut them." The bus driver says, "It's cops.